Hi, I'm Rich from Trapping Inc. TV. Last winter, you saw me use the Range Road wood processor to do a bunch of birch. Well, this is the next iteration in that lineage. This is the next model that has come out. This is the EcoPro 300. And there's a couple of things that are obvious right off the bat. Is they've got this neat belt in-feed table, and the conveyor belt is now 10 inches wide instead of 6. There's a bunch of other features that have changed as well. I'm going to put it to work here over the next couple of days. I've got a bunch of white poplar here that I've taken off of around my yard site here. Sandy has a list, and anytime a tree pops a dead branch or a yellow leaf or whatever, they go on the list, and that means that this is a done deal for them. I gotta tell you, the girl's scary. I don't even limp around her. I'm afraid of making the list. Well, let's put it to work. Well, that's the end of day one. That's looking pretty good. Made a little sawdust anyway. Okay, well, let's take a look at a few things that are new on the unit, other than the cool new paint job, right? The first is our emergency stop, and it has an hour meter on the side. Those are great additions. The second is this infeed, the belt infeed here, and it's adjustable, which means that we can adjust the angle by adjusting this, the bolt on the end of this, so that you can get some adjustment as far as up or down on the end of it, so that you line up with the infeed off of your table. That is a great feature. It added a lot of ease in getting the logs up there, and another thing that added a lot of ease was this. Now, Range Road makes and sells these, and when Rich handed it to me, it says, you know, it might help you, give you a tug when you've got those bumps, those knots, those warts on the side of the trees, and they hang up and they make it not want to go into your machine. It's nice and easy. I looked at it, and it doesn't have a lot of weight. It didn't impress me at all. It is an awesome tool. It really, really worked well. I mean, you can just take and give it a tap, and then she sticks in, and you give it a pull, and it helps you move those logs along a ton, okay? Really good thing. Other new features, we have a claw here for holding things in place while we're cutting. Absolutely very useful. I have a big tendency to use my hand, but this gives you a lot more leverage, especially when you get down into the shorter ends, right? Our saw blade here, we have a return shock now, rather than the spring that we had before. Much more positive return, so your blade doesn't just sit a little bit here and your chain keep turning. If that happens, nothing else will function. There's an automatic block out on your ram. It won't move forward or back if the chain is turning. Another feature that's available is that you can get a still chain and chainsaw. You give up 2 inches of length on your blade though. And personally, when you got that 15 horse motor, this has the 15 horse coulter on it, driving that chain, whether it's a still chain or an Oregon chain, doesn't make any difference to me. Like, I mean, you can really lean on it. You see in some of the features where I got both hands on it, I'm giving on it because you're using a 15 horse motor, and man, can you cut stuff, let me tell you. We have the same adjustments back here for as far as our splitting goes. A nice improvement has been the heavier bolts on your length adjustment. I never had to readjust, not once. Before it had much smaller, and they were wing nuts, and they would loosen up all the time, and it was kind of frustrating. This never adjusted once on the whole load. Big feature change, 10-inch conveyor. Super impressed with this. It moves a lot of big material and in a big hurry. I can't say enough about how big of an improvement that is. The 6-inch stuff, especially with we had a 6-inch conveyor before, and with the size of stuff, whether it's the birch or the poplar that I do, I had log jams, that kind of stuff, and it took a little bit of sorting to get it out. This takes and flings it up over in no problem at all. So here's another new feature, one that I really like, especially up here for us guys in the cold. You see this valve here? By closing this valve off, you shut off any hydraulic fluid going to your conveyor, so you start your machine under no load. And you can also vary the speed of your conveyor by how much you open it. Okay? Very nice feature that is. Another tweak on the new unit is on your chain lube here. You've got a on-off switch on your valve, but you've also got a trickle adjustment here, so rather than trying to just get this just set right, you can set this trickle here, and every time, as soon as you open it, you're getting the right amount of lube on your chain. Saves you a lot of lube. All right, 15 horse Kohler, electric start. Choke and your fuel controls, everything's right here. This is your idle. What do you say about a Kohler engine? I did all of this wood. I don't know how many cords I got here. Two tanks. I fueled up just with about a log and a half left to go. So basically 2 tanks of fuel to cut all that. Not only puts out the power, it's pretty thrifty on the fuel as well. Okay, once again, we have our battery here, our fill cap for the tank, which is down here in the frame for a hydraulic tank. Our sight glasses here. Been a little bit of changes done to the hydraulic system on this, and what it's done is that it's increased the overall hydraulic pressure. A little change to the pump and the plumbing. It's kept a higher sustained hydraulic pressure in there. So even though it's rated for 20 tons worth of splitting force, it's actually more like 27 tons. It is very, very comparable to that 27 ton that I have, and it never once has to take a second run at anything. Our connection center, all done with quick couplers and that. You can connect in a lifter, or you can operate without a lifter. It's all just done by which way you plug in your hoses. Up and down controls. It's a nice system. It's slick. It is a feature that's so far above what you expect out of this price range of splitter. I like it. Well, that's my review on the EcoPro 300 wood processor from Range Road. I'm a tool guy. I work stuff hard. I break a lot of stuff. If it won't stand up to me, what good is it? The new unit here not only has a cool new color scheme, it's got some serious features that really add to it. Add to its usability and its value. Yet at the same reliability and quality and value for the buck that we've come to expect from Range Road. You can check it out at the local dealer or online at range-road.com.